Day, everybody. I'm glad that you could be here for me because, as you know, it is spring in Canada, so we're having beaver eggs for breakfast. I had somebody ask me last night if that was a real thing. I'm going to let you decide. Okay, so no beavers were harmed in the making of this breakfast, just so you know. If you watched, I'm not sure how long ago it was, but we did a video on cooking hard-boiled eggs. Well, it is not only hard-boiled eggs that you can cook. You can do soft-boiled eggs, you can do medium eggs, you can do all kinds of things. So we're going to do that this morning. Now I have 2 eggs in here, and we're going to get my sidekick to give me a hand because we're going to start these boiling. I need the lid for this pot. So okay, we're going to get this going at a full boil, and then we'll turn the heat down a little bit because it doesn't need to be quite that hot going the whole way, and we're going to let those cook. So as soon as it starts a rolling boil here, and we've got lots of steam on the lid, we'll set a timer, because for soft cooked eggs, when you're steaming your eggs like this, and honestly, guys, if you are going to do eggs and you want to be able to peel them easily, this is the only way that I know of to do it where it's going to be amazing. Super simple. The shells come off really easy all the time. Okay, now, beaver eggs. Now, these are eggs. I couldn't find any beaver nests, but you know what? I found these at the grocery store. So these are large eggs. And we're going to make some breakfast sausage this morning. Every kind of breakfast sausage that I have looked at in the grocery store has got wheat crumbs, cornstarch, sugar, wheat gluten, all of the above. I don't know, but they are definitely not keto. Depending on how many sausages you want for breakfast, they can definitely knock you out of ketosis. And so we're going to make our own breakfast sausage, and you are going to be shocked at how easy it is. So I have 1 pound here. I'm going to give you the whole recipe. So this is half and half, pork burger and beef burger. So 1 pound of each. And to that, you are going to add, good grief. I'm just going to spill things here. Let me just pick this up. Okay, and I want to make sure that I can see you guys if you're listening, if you're chatting with me. Good morning, Dell. Okay, so here we go. I actually have everything almost in order today. So we have 1 pound each of pork and beef, and to that we're going to add a teaspoon of salt, 2 pounds of meat, 1 pound each. So that's 900 grams. If you're doing it in kilograms, that's 900 grams. So we have, and this is at a full boil, so we're just going to turn this down to 5. Alexa, start a 6-minute egg timer. Alexa, start a 12-minute egg timer.
Egg timer, 12 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, start a soft-boiled egg timer for 6 minutes.
Soft-boiled egg timer, 6 minutes.
There you go. She's
now.
Just so darn helpful, isn't she? She helps me a lot not to burn stuff when I remember to use her. Okay, now to this, we're also going to add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to add 3 grams each of freshly ground or freshly chopped sage leaf, and also 3 grams of fresh thyme. And I don't know, I didn't really show you, but the fresh thyme doesn't take up anywhere near as much room as the fresh sage. Sage is nice and light and airy. If you don't have this, remember that for each unit, whatever it is that you're using, it takes 1/3. So fresh would be 3 teaspoons, dried would be 1 teaspoon, and if it's ground to a powder, it would be 1/2 teaspoon. So that's the rule. Now, I don't like dried herbs in here because it can make it kind of crunchy and not really my favorite. Now, we are just going to put in a wee tiny little bit of rosemary, and this is fresh rosemary as well. Now, you can see I just have a wee bit in there, and I'm not even going to use it all. Just a bit. And then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of rosemary. Or not rosemary, marjoram. I know what I'm doing, kind of, sort of. Okay, now, as well, we are going to add a teaspoon of white pepper. I hope you guys are writing this down, but the video will be up, so you'll be able to go back and get the recipe a little bit later. Now, we are also going to add, now, this is optional, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, I'm not going to put in quite a, yeah, we are. A little bit of spice, never hurt anybody. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of chili flakes. Okay, so we have all of that goodness in there. And what are we going to use for a binder in our breakfast sausage? Nothing, because you don't have to. Now, what we're making here today, we're going to use to make our beaver eggs, but you can do sausage patties. If you have a sausage stuffer and you want to put it in casings, you can do that too. Now, I got to tell you, one of my, not a phobia, but something that I just really don't like is touching raw meat. And so I never forget to put my gloves on because I just really, really do not like touching raw meat with my bare hands. Okay, now I hope you have a huge big cup of coffee with you. Mine has got sugar-free Irish cream syrup in it, no alcohol. It's not St. Patrick's Day, so no alcohol. Okay, these out of the way. Now, you have to make sure that this is well mixed. You know, a lot of times when you're doing something, it's important not to overmix it. Sausage is not really one of those things. I mean, I guess you could overmix it, but you want this to really be mixed well because two things happen. First of all, the sausage sticks together better. Good morning, Mom. Now, if you are listening, please let me know where you're from. And don't forget to hit like and follow and subscribe and click all the things so that we can hang out. Okay, I'm just making a bit of a mess here. Now, once you think you have it mixed in well, turn it over, because if you look on the bottom, you can see that not all the spices are mixed in yet. So we need to keep working at this for a little bit. Okay. I think this is going to be pretty good. Now we're just going to see how well this sticks together. Make sure we've got all of this stuff in here. And you can see where the burger before, you could see kind of the ground bits of it. Now it looks more like sausage meat. So, now this is not a recipe that you're going to find anywhere else, because this is should I call it a Canadian classic when I've just recently developed this? I don't know. Sure, let's call it a Canadian classic. Okay, now we are going to get out our scale and a plate to put what we're doing next on. Okay, now we want 3 ounces or 84 grams for each of our beaver eggs. So we're just going to set our plate on our scale.
Your soft-boiled
My
egg timer
soft
is
boiled
done.
egg timer is done. So we're just going to take the lid off of this and we're going to quickly pull 1 egg out.
Your soft-boiled
And I
egg
just
timer
got
is
it
done.
all covered in stuff. Maybe we can get that wiped off.
Your soft-boiled egg timer is done.
There we go. I bet you magically that's just going to happen. Alexa, stop.
Timer is done.
Okay, now we've zeroed our scale. And that's 105 grams, so we need to take a bit of that off. That is 87 grams. I'm not going to get that picky with it this morning. A couple extra grams is fine. Now, once we have 1 done, we're just going to zero the scale again. And that way you don't have to keep taking it off the scale. We'll see how close I came this time. 96 grams. We'll take a wee bit off of that. 87 grams. That seems to be the number of the day, doesn't it? Okay, now, just so you know, if you're in Canada, and who have we got? Evelyn, good morning. I'm glad you could join us. If you're in Canada and you live near a superstore or No Frills, part of the Loblaws chain, you can buy a ground beef and ground pork mix so you don't have to do it yourself. If you have a meat grinder and you make your own ground beef, then you don't need to worry about it so much. Okay, so we have 2 of these ready. I'm only going to do 2 today. And next we are going to do equal parts, if I can find a bowl, of cream cheese and cheddar cheese. So I'm going to do 2 ounces ish of cream cheese. Whoops, we better zero our scale again. And we'll put 2 ounces of cream cheese in here, thereabouts. Oh well, we're getting closer. 57. Yep, that is close enough. Okay. And then we'll zero the scale and just set this off to the side. And we will add 57 grams of cheddar cheese. Well, this is a cheddar Monterey Jack mix, but you can use whatever you have on hand. Or if you want to make this even spicier, you could also add a pepper jack to it. Okay. We're almost there. There we go, 56 grams. 56 and 57, that should be close enough. I don't think we're going to quibble over a gram. And then we want this mixed. Now we're not adding any salt, pepper, spices, nothing to this, and I don't believe we're going to need our scale again, so we'll just set that out of the way. Okay, and we'll get this mixed up. It is really important that you have your cream cheese at room temperature or you're not going to be able to mix it like this, and we need to be able to spread this in a little bit too. So if you're going to warm it up in the microwave, do it in just a few second increments, and that way you don't end up with melted cream cheese. That wouldn't work out so well. Okay, now we're getting this all mixed so fairly evenly, except for the stuff that I'm dropping on the counter. Now, part 2 of this is peeling our eggs and coating our eggs. And because I was really on top of things this morning, I know it's unusual. Now, you know, something that I forgot to tell you, if you are one of those people that likes a little bit of sweet in your breakfast sausage, and I am not, feel free to add a tablespoon of brown sugar. Do some taste tests, and I'm not suggesting you eat raw meat, but throw a frying pan on the burner and adjust your spices the way you think you want them, and then just make a single bite. Cook it in a frying pan, and when it's done, you can taste it, and you'll know whether you want to add more salt, whether you need more sweet, whether you need more cayenne, whatever it is that you want to do. And let's just see. Evelyn, Tammy, good morning. I'm trying to keep up with everybody that's joining us today. Now, if you know anybody who would like to be watching the videos but they are not on Facebook, tell them that they can also watch this on YouTube. So at the same time, I'm just trying to be all over the place because I really want people to be able to do this. The hard-boiled egg is done. Okay. Alexa, stop. And we're just going to turn this off. And we're going to take this egg out of here. And we're going to, whoops, there we go. We have to peel it anyway, so being cracked is not an issue. Now, we've got our cream cheese and our grated cheese blend done. Just going to set this out of the way. Now, the easiest way to do this, I promise you this is true, use a little bit of whatever kind of cling wrap you have. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be wrapping our eggs in the sausage meat that we've just made, and then we're going to make it extra yummy. And before I do that, I suppose I should probably get these eggs peeled. Now, I am going to get some of the eggshells in. And we need to make sure we know which one is the hard-boiled egg and which one is the soft-boiled egg. So these are a little bit warmish because they just came out of the pot. But we're going to get them peeled anyway. Now look at, these are fresh eggs. I just bought these at the grocery store, guys. And look at how easily this shell is coming off of here. If you've tried this before and you know how it works, put a message in the comment. Put a happy face. Put a heart. Put a whatever. Okay. So we're going to get this done, hopefully. Now, one thing that I will tell you, I like my eggs soft. Dell likes his eggs harder, his boiled eggs. And if you do a soft boiled egg, which mine is, it is a little bit trickier to peel because they're more delicate. So it's important that you remember that. Give that a little bit of a smack, get the shell broken up a little bit more. But this is, if it wasn't so darn hot, and I'm a little bit wimpy when it comes to touching hot stuff, go figure, I would be able to do this a little easier. Okay, now, if you have an air fryer, you're going to want to have that out and ready to go. Now, we'll put the hard-boiled egg in the blue cup, blue for boys. How sexist is that? Am I going to get hate comments about that? I hope not. It's just a good way for me to remember which one is which, because I don't want him having my soft-boiled egg. So, you can see the soft-boiled egg, you want to smack it a little more gently because we don't want to pull this egg apart, and it will. It'll pull apart, and then it is a little bit of a mess to get the rest of our goodies on here. So the only thing that is going to stop you up a wee bit, and it's easy enough to do, there's a membrane in the egg. And if you just break that membrane, everything comes off. Now this one sat for a couple minutes. It's not quite so hot, so I think I'm okay. And not having to hold on to that makes it a little easier to peel. So when your hands aren't burning quite as much as the other one was. Look at how easily that comes off. And we have 2 perfectly peeled eggs, and you can feel that this one is soft, that beautiful runny yolk inside. This one is way harder. So that is that. We'll get rid of those. And coffee. Morning without coffee is just not the way to start the day. How many of you saw my beaver egg post on? I am doing good. How are you doing? Now, I am just going to try and turn this a little bit. For some reason, I am having a horrible time seeing the names, but I am really glad that you've all joined us. Tell me in the chat where you're from. I love to know that when we're together. Okay, so we have a soft-boiled egg and a hard-boiled egg, and you can tell the difference. And we have our sausage meat. So now we are going to put the gloves back on because, yeah, I really have this thing about touching raw meat. But these vinyl gloves are cheap and easy to find. Well, they're easy to find right now. A few months ago, maybe not so much. Now, we're going to put this in here. We need a large patty because we are going to be wrapping this around our egg. So you want to try and keep it round-ish. I guess our egg isn't really round, so. Now, we have this on both sides, the saran wrap or plastic wrap, whatever it is you have. Now, once you get that squished out, and you want it quite thin because we're putting this around the egg and in the air fryer, so we want it to cook fairly quickly. It'd be great if I could get it apart again. And once you have that done, I guess I can keep the gloves on. We're going to take some of our cream cheese and cheddar mix, and this is why you want it soft. And you can put as much or as little on here as you like. And just get it spread out a little bit. Okay, so something that I want to talk to all of you about this morning is diet plans. And you know, there are a million diet plans out there. Now, because I have just used this on the sausage meat, I'm going to set it aside, and when we do the next one, I'll use a different spoon, because if I don't use all of this cheese, then I don't want it contaminated with raw meat, right? Okay. So, we are going to take the soft-boiled egg first. Now, you really, seriously, guys, you need to be delicate with this. You need to treat it like a newborn baby. That's maybe a little bit. Okay, so we have our sausage meat around the egg, and we're just going to pinch this all the way around and make sure that it is just one big ball. Do not squeeze this too hard. If you squeeze it too hard, you'll break the yolk inside. You'll break the egg, break the yolk. This is the voice of experience, so please listen to me. Okay, now we're going to put this so that I can keep track of them. We're going to put this on the right side of the plate because that's soft-boiled egg is mine, and you know, the women are always right, aren't we? Okay, now we're going to do another one, and again, you want to make sure that you squish it out nice and flat. Now, these in your air fryer are going to take about 25 minutes to cook, depending on how thick you have your sausage. So if you do it nice and thin like we are today, and I'm going to grab another, you know what, I'm just going to use the knife that I used to get the cream cheese with. Now, if you want to measure your cream cheese and cheddar mix on a scale, you can definitely figure out exactly what this is doing to your macros, and I just made sure that I'm going to have to use all of that cream cheese today because I just dipped this knife back in there. Okay, well, I guess we know what I'm doing after we're done today. So now we are going to wrap this in our sausage meat. And honestly, using the saran wrap just makes this infinitely easier. Okay, so you can see it kind of tears apart, but it's okay because we're very gently just going to make this into a nice even ball. And then to make it even more delicious, we are going to wrap each of those. Okay, so I told you I don't like touching raw meat. Not really sure why this is an exception to my rule, but it is. I don't mind touching bacon. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so we're going to take some strips of bacon and we're going to put one, well, if there is a long way. Now make sure that these don't overlap because we want to make sure that the whole thing is covered. So we don't need 3 layers of bacon anywhere. We're going to have 2 for sure, but we don't need more than that. Okay, and we take our second piece of bacon and we wrap that around. And we're trying to cover all of the sausage meat as well as we can. There you have it, one freshly laid beaver's egg. Now we're going to put that in the air fryer in a couple of minutes. First we're going to get this next one done. And you can pull your bacon a little bit apart. Not apart, but just make sure that it's kind of stretched, and that way it's easier to make sure that all of the meat is covered. And then we take that next piece and we wrap it around, and voila, we have another beaver's egg, just like that. Now, if you don't have an air fryer, you can do this in the oven. You do have to make sure. Okay, now how did I do that? I think we're missing a piece of bacon here, kids. I'm just going to use a short piece on there, I think. This is what happens when I get talking instead of paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, so that is done. The sausage meat is all nicely covered up, I hope. Now, I am going to move this out of the way and bring my air fryer basket over here where you can see that I've cheated a little bit, but that's okay. Now, we're going to take these beaver eggs out of here. The left one, can you guess who that one's for? And the right one. Now this one, I am fully expecting the yolk not to be soft in it because I broke the yolk a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. Now we're going to just take these beautiful brand new beaver eggs and we're going to put those in here. And we're going to put it back in the air fryer, and we're going to turn the air fryer on for 12 minutes. Well, about 14 minutes. Now, I'm not going to be here with you for that long, but they'll be done in a little while. But between now and then, we should take a look and see what these look like inside. So do you like your eggs hard or soft? Okay, so this one, I'll bring it over here so that you can see it. Look at that. So you've got a nice layer of sausage meat on the outside and bacon and egg, and that is the perfect breakfast. Okay, so that is the hard-boiled egg. Now, you can see, if you look at this, that my yolk drained out of here because I was not gentle enough. Now, we'll do this one. And my yolk is hard because I broke it and half of it leaked out. So, that is okay. Bacon is nice and crunchy. Now, let's see what this tastes like. You can do these ahead so that they're just ready to stick in your oven or your air fryer. And people will be amazed that this sausage did not come from the grocery store. Yep, that is wonderful. A little bit spicy, a little bit salty, and it tastes amazing. So when we get off here today, guess what I'm going to be doing next? I'm going to be finishing this. And until Wednesday, when we get together again at 10 a.m., and I'm not just sure what we're doing on Wednesday, but I'll try and post it on the page beforehand. I hope all of you have an amazing Sunday and you do your very best to live your best version of this shining life between now and Wednesday when we get together. Make some beaver eggs, only in Canada. Well, maybe not anymore. I have really enjoyed being here. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, click all the things and do all the stuff so that we can hang out together 3 times a week, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain. And I look forward to seeing you